And welcome back to the channel, everybody. I am Aesop Graham, and this is the continuation of my blind playthrough of RDR2 in 2025. Longest running video game series, and until recently, only running video game series of this year on this channel. So we've had a really good time. I forget what episode number this is, but we're in the 70s. We're deep into the 70s, actually, if I remember right. So it's been a good time. Today, we're going to take ourselves up to, where's it at? Up here. Eagle flies. Rains Fall asks you to meet his son Eagle Flies to steal some documents from kerosene and tar. Oh, that's the name of the company, Cornwall Kerosene and Tar. Well, all right, let's get a move on. And while our horse is on its way to us, looks like we're just outside of camp here. It is 6:50 in the a.m. Arthur's status, I believe, was underweight, but we ate. Oh, we're at average. Okay. And I was told here, there it is, you can rename your horse at a stable. I was told that it said it in the bottom left. A lot of times when I'm recording, guys, and I'm looking for something, I'm kind of like nervous if I don't see it right away, and my eyes will drift right over instructions. So my reading was being done on the right side. My visual was over on the left, kind of looking for a naming place where it says type breed gender. Anyway, you get the point. I'm sure most people have experienced something like this before. I have it kind of severely, so I can get really tunnel visioned or even blind sometimes if I feel tense. You know, like, oh man, where is this thing? This is happening live. I'm recording it, that kind of a thing. I would like to overcome that one day, but everybody has their strengths and weaknesses, and I think the idea is to... Oh, hold on. The idea is to... Usually you just improve your weaknesses. You don't typically turn them into strengths. I don't know, maybe that's kind of a downer way of putting it. Alright, let's I actually don't like how that even sounds in my own head. So, I don't know, I have like two different ways I think sometimes. Normally I'm really optimistic, and then there's like pragmatically. Okay, anyway, that's enough psychological babble. Something I can really easily get onto, just given how I am, what I'm into. There you go, Black Velvet. And El Cid is our new ride. Alright, well, speaking of which, I should check. Is there a stable on the way? I don't think there's a stable in Rhodes. It doesn't really look like it. Cornwall, kerosene and tar. Is Valentine anywhere nearby? Yes. So maybe after the mission. If I remember. We'll see how it goes. Because I'm trying to remember a couple things. I want to get a 3-star like alligator kill to bring meat back to the camp also. I just read the icon before I started recording. I read the icon for food in the camp, and it looks like quality does count for how the rest of the camp bodies feel. So we're gonna start bringing in 3-star game. For that. Alrighty then. This is gonna be a little bit of a long ride. Man, the way things have been going lately, and maybe this is actually a good thing, I don't know. But whenever I feel like recording, it's when I haven't really listened to any news. And I listened to news the day before, like yesterday I listened to stuff that was going on. Big win in Romania, by the way. I guess I'll talk about that. Uh-oh. In Romania, the conservative candidate, and I'm not really very up on politics in Romania, so I don't know how that would flesh out here in America. But this was a more of a pro-Romanian, anti-EU candidate. He won. He won big. Or the polling showed that he was going to win in a landslide. Now they tried. When I say they, I mean the powers that be, the people that got their fingers in the cookie jars and all the influential positions of the major industries and stuff like that. These people run the media. If you don't know that, I feel sorry for you. Yes, the media, major media is being influenced by people behind the scenes. I don't even understand how the side that says don't trust the billionaires out there can not even adopt that as a likelihood without even any proof. Just common sense of how things work, you know. But anyway, they didn't let this guy on the media, on the mainstream media at all. They tried to keep him real quiet so people couldn't hear about him, and then it would ruin his chances for elections, because elections essentially are popularity contests, right? Well, the dude went on social media and he circumvented what we call the legacy media now over here in America. But for a long time we called it the mainstream media. So he circumvented them. He went around them. He got onto social media. He went viral. He became wildly popular amongst the population there in Romania, the actual civilian population, who in a democratic nation are the ones who are supposed to be running their elections. That's why they have elections, right? And so they get to pick who's going to lead them. It's a democratic nation. Well, very undemocratically, the powers that be, the controlling governmental parties over there, their version of the deep state, said, no, this guy got amplified because of Russia. Russians were code breaking in the background and manipulating the algorithm, and that's what led him to going viral. So he's not really actually legitimately grassroots popular. Yeah. He's AstroTurf. He's engineered by Ruskies. That's what they said. And I think they arrested the dude, but I know for darn sure they outlawed him from running in the election. Legally, they passed the law. They voted on it as a body. Wow. You know, when your own people are being like, this is our guy, you're like, no, we know better. You're not really a democracy anymore now, are you? For shame, Romania. That was disgusting. I notice all these people that are on the side of keeping the war going in Slava Ukrainia all seem to forsake their democratic principles while howling about saving our democracy. Man, these people are disgusting. So they took him off of the ballot. Well, the next guy stepped up to fill that slot. This is the opposition party. Of course, it's going to not be pro-EU. It's the opposition party. But maybe I'm sure their hope was that the next guy would have a different brand of politics, or be more palatable at least to working with their version of the deep state, what we should call the establishment, or that he would be so little known that he wouldn't really have a chance of winning. And in, I guess, what I assume to be a shortened campaign season, the guy caught on fire again on social media, and I don't know, he did not win yet. We're getting really close to their election, but the polling shows him winning right now in a landslide, and they're having a real hard time crying wolf twice in a row. You know, I mean, it's just kind of, that would be too much of an alarm, I think, to most normal people. You told me last time it was Russians cracking X in the background and manipulating the algorithm. And you're telling me now that X couldn't do anything about that? Well, let's go with the conspiracy theory of Elon Musk is owned by the Russians. Well, okay, so you're telling me that within your own country, you couldn't find a way to find out which of these accounts were bots and set up protections and censorship on that, which is what you clearly would like to do? I don't believe that this is the kind of thing that can happen 2 times in a row. That's eagle flies right there. So that's the latest bit that I've got. Big win there in Romania with this, the next guy stepping up, and in a shortened, I assume, campaign season, got wildly popular and is trouncing the establishment candidate. That's pretty nice. Let's go see what Eagle has to say. He's scouting out the town there. Hey, don't shoot me as I come up on your 6.
You came.
Of course I came. Said I would.
There's a foreman. His name is Danbury. There's the files in the office above the refinery room. It's that window with the blind drawn up.
I see it.
If the files are as incriminating as we believe, Mr. Cornwall's men will destroy them if they know you're coming.
There's only one of me, son. I don't intend for them to know I'm coming. What will the files say?
There'll be a report from Leyland Oil Development Company.
And you got the money?
Yes?
Any ideas how I sneak into this place?
You could crawl under the fence or hide in a wagon. They keep rolling in.
I'll go take a look.
If there's a problem, call for me.
I thought the whole point was that this had nothing to do with you.
Ideally.
All right.
If you are quick, you could climb into the back of that wagon.
All right. There we go. Well, I didn't really select weapons. Cinematic camera. It's a dreary day. That rain came up on us in a hurry. It got dark real fast. Probably it's scripted to take place at nighttime.
That you, Al?
Hey, Tom?
Picking up?
Yep. Supposed to meet the early train to Saint Denis.
Okay. Better get a move on then.
All right, easy enough.
All right. I'm gonna start loading up.
An infiltration mission. Oh, there, dude, right there, man. Well, I take it there's stairs to climb. Yep, all the way over there. Huh. Sneak upstairs, it says. Let's cut across here. Oh, man, I don't think we should be, going in from this side. Not right across the work floor, man. There's foremen upstairs and everything, or there could be. Return to the factory. Oh, darn it.
Intruder! Everyone over here now!
Well, let's just burn ourselves. Seems like this'll take a while. I'm sorry, guys. I guess we do have to sneak across the floor instead of going around the outside perimeter of the building.
Shit!
Oh, look at that. There's stairs right here.
You surrounded!
Well, I assume that's the way we're supposed to go. I wonder if we could climb the ladder onto the roof and find a roof entry point. Okay. That door might be locked. Well, that's probably the way I gotta go. I just want to scout the roof. Oh, well, this is... Why would you even need a ladder to this? There's no maintenance here, right? That doesn't make no sense. Yep. Okay. Oddly enough, we apparently have to sneak across the maintenance floor. You would think that there would be some stair access on this side as well. But nope, I'm not seeing any. Okay, that's a guard. See, I'm surprised we didn't get spotted by that dude.
Fine. You must be Danbury.
Who? What?
Quieten yourself, friend. This won't take long.
I'm surprised he hasn't screamed for help. That's crazy. He's got a guard right out there.
Danbury,
Yes.
I need some papers, my friend. Nothing important. A file. I'm from head office.
You're not from head office?
Does that seem important right now?
No.
I need a file by the Linde Oil Development Company. The one about the oil near Wapiti.
I...
Danbury, think, man. A mind is a terrible thing to lose, especially over such a nice floor as this.
It's here. It's here.
You done good, Danbury. Real good. They'll give you a promotion for this. No, Danbury.
Danbury? Danbury, you okay?
Tell the guard you're fine.
Yes. It's just... I'm working. All's fine.
Now stay quiet. Or head office will send me back to get you.
Alright, escape through window.
Hey, hold it right there! Weapons on the ground and hands in the air.
Easy now, fellas.
Now, we won't tell you again. Son of a bitch! It's over for you! I'm gonna leave you cold. I'm gonna end you. Make your
Ah, couldn't get him. Oh my gosh! Oh. I took a rifle shot to the head and lived to tell about it. That was not realistic at all. What? How did they fail me on that? I was going to go find eagle flies. Eagle flies was abandoned. No, he wasn't. I was taking the roundabout way there.
No more shot! You're as good as that!
Do that.
What a fucking crowd! I'll enjoy killing you!
Come on now.
Gotta go this way, apparently. Oh, they shot my horse out from under me.
Come on, Arthur!
Where are you at? I hear you. Come on, come on, get on up there.
Over here! Did you get the documents?
I did.
Yeah, but we need to get the hell out of here.
Follow me!
Escape the factory with eagle flies. All right. Now we're cooking. We got a ride though. mind, we gotta fight.
We need to lose them.
Yeah, we do.
I don't see any more of them.
I thought you wasn't getting involved.
Thought you were gonna enter and leave silently.
Thank you. You saved my life.
Thank you. I hope. Well, I don't know what I hope. But who knows? Maybe these will be of some use. Here's your money.
Thank you.
Done and done. You get something, I get something. That's exactly how the world works. If there's gonna be partnership with no exchange of some kind of like compensation, then both parties have to have an interest. And you and your family's survival is on you, not on me. Everybody's got problems. I got problems, you got problems. I don't owe you nothing. So you gotta be able to give me a reason to help you. All right. Let's bring up the map. And it's late. We're gonna come up to Valentine actually. And what do we got here? Jim Boy Calloway's available again. You've dealt with all the gunslingers. Go to Calloway and Levin with the findings. Okay, well, let's do that. And then we'll get a hotel room, and then we'll go to the gun store in the morning. Let's see. Where's my horse? Hey, boy.
Okay, boy.
And then we'll rename our horse.
Yep. You're all right, boy.
Let's feed the horse
You okay, boy?
a couple times.
There you go.
And, oh, it's morning time already. Well, we're not going to need to get a hotel room then. But we do probably need to eat. That fixes the health issue. Oh, and I need to go shopping, that's right. I forgot about that. Strawberries? Yeah, canned strawberries. And I guess I'll eat 2 of them, because maybe they'll have more. Okay, here we are at Valentine. And it's gotta be fall, man. I've been seeing a lot of rainy weather. It's cold outside. I gotta tell you though, I appreciate how long it took to get around to that. It's not a quick moving season. Remember all those episodes? I think I did it 3 times where I was like, man, it's been hot weather for a long time. I haven't needed to put cold weather gear on since practically coming out the mountains, you know?
Where's the bed wagon?
Guess we'll sidle up right here. Hey, man. Better watch yourself. Well, I don't see him. Maybe I talked to the bartender.
Hey, looking for some fellas sojourned around here? Boy Calloway and a rider called Levin?
Drunk boar Calloway. This bar's got bullet marks to remember him by. Last I heard, they was in Saint Denis. Had rooms on a riverboat there.
Saint Denis. On the riverboat? Okay then.
All right, good to know.
I wouldn't drink here, though. Get on to Saint Denis and hand out some Sazerac.
Got bad memories.
Pardon me.
Sure thing. That horse is really pissed off. Okay, we should be able to tie up somewhere around here.
Nice, boy.
Here we go, hitch post on the left.
No, Brother Brodus, you're simply not a gentleman. You're a scoundrel, and quite frankly, talking like that is a lady. Exactly what I'd expect from you. Good morning, mister.
You blackguard. You foundling. My dear Helen, I told you I'd... My friend. You there.
Yeah. What are you weirdos up to?
Yeah? What do you want?
Do I look like a coward to you? I mean, obviously I do, because I look like that milksop there, but 'tis no matter. Can you help?
Maybe.
See? Even
Twins.
he is sick of hearing your nonsense, you afterthought of a child. I apologize, sir, for his smell. Why don't we come back here? To somewhere more conducive to displays of utter gallantry and deep-seated inadequacy.
Well, what did you have in mind?
They fighting over the girl.
Shoot a bottle off my head, like William Tell.
This is getting silly.
Very silly. The man is a moron. Shoot one off mine instead. I'm the brave one.
I'm not scared.
This
I'm a good
girl's
shot, but
I won't even flinch.
I don't want to hurt you, boys.
I can't lose. Either I'll prove my masculinity or die and be spared his company. Come, sir, please.
Okay, then.
Lady, you need to
Just
be
make
looking
sure
elsewhere.
everyone knows you asked me to do this.
Of course, of course, of course.
You boys are ridiculous.
Okay.
Please, put us out.
Good shot, sir. I didn't bat an eye.
What are you fools doing? You got it.
That was fun.
What was? I feel like we didn't even do anything.
Oh, of course you didn't. We all know you're hardly sentient at all.
Another round, smaller bottles, sir, please.
What?
I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
Please, this creature is unbearable. He needs silencing.
I'll do my best. As long as she witnesses that I'm doing this under
Oh,
duress.
you boys are so silly.
She'd leave with me. You know, Arthur.
Think too much about it. Just
You guys are idiots.
We're waiting for you, mister. Fire away.
nothing to fear at all.
My turn.
Are you sure you can hit those little bottles?
Oh. You might not want to move.
Now I'll stand on one leg.
Me too. You keep shooting, sir, and this time you kill the beast. He emerged fully formed from the swamps, Helen.
Silence, you blackguard. Sir, shoot the wretch.
Ready? You're deranged. Shoot away, sir. My bottle and his brains, if you please.
At
Jiminy
least I
cricket.
have brains.
Oh,
Shoot,
missed
sir,
that one.
While our courage holds.
Now is as good a time as any. Go for it. Why? I must be the bravest man I know.
This one's an easier
Careful not to
target.
hit them.
Come on. Now aim that over here. Excellent.
Now do one while I hop. Do one while I turn somersaults. Shoot me. Oh, give me the gun. Let me shoot him. For all mankind.
I think me and the lady have had enough.
Oh, I don't blame you, sir. This man's tongue, I would run too if I could. Here, for your skills and talents.
Thank you.
Now, brother, I am going to walk Helen home. Don't follow us. She has an elderly aunt, and I fear the sight of you could finally finish her off.
Helen, is this creep bothering you?
You two, come
Oh,
along.
no, there aren't two. There's me and the lizard man. Please, my angel, do not aggravate us both together.
Those two are funny though. They kind of crack me up. As brothers, I mean, I got a couple brothers. We're kind of at each other's throats a little bit like that. Not as stupid, but we rib each other, you know. Always talking about who mom loves the most. I started that, by the way. I'm the oldest. I take full responsibility. All right. Actually, I'm sorry. El Cid, you need to stay right here. And I don't need to go to the gun shop. I don't know why. If I said gun shop earlier, I misspoke. We need to go here into the main store. My goodness.
Since you came through town, ain't it?
Yeah.
Have a look around.
Let's take a look at the catalog.
Now, let me see.
Okay, so we're gonna look at provisions, I suppose, and canned food, baked beans. I'll take all the baked beans you got. Oh, you got a whole bunch of them. Look at that. Well, I got a bunch of money to
Another
spend.
one for you.
Well, I guess I guess we're carrying as many baked beans as we can get. I bought a ridiculous amount. I'll take some pineapple. That's quite a bit of money. What about, yeah, strawberries. Okay. Well, there we go. I think that's probably plenty.
That should be good.
Oh, well, there it is. Yeah, 22 cans of strawberries, 19 pineapples, 42 baked beans. All right, fine. Fine, let's just leave it at that.
Thanks.
Now, we go over to the stable. Uh-oh.
Hear no more of this. I won that game fair and square. Shit, fair and square my ass. You heard me, fair. Well, why don't you let your pistol do the talking? Fine by me.
I don't really see who's...
Your move.
All right, is there a lady out there? Oh, these two, okay.
Good morning.
Hey, Buck. Oh. Well, that's done and done.
Step right up.
Hello. How's that horse doing? I got space for you if you need stabling.
Okay. I guess info. What about upgrade? Appearance, maybe? Mane, tail, not really.
I'm convinced horses love that.
Why did it change the color? Oh, you can do that yourself. Yeah, I don't really care about this.
always ride in style.
I don't think so. Horns?
You
Oh,
can tell
okay.
the difference with these additions.
Yeah. What does it do for me? Anything? Nope, just
I think you should
cosmetic.
do it.
I
Goes
think
well
you
with
should
the
shut
saddle.
up. Saddlebags.
It's better to
Upgraded.
equip yourself and
Already
not
got
need it
'em.
than the other way around.
Services. Rename horse. There we go. Okay. We'll just, I guess, make it all caps.
Now that's a proper name for a horse.
Go back to upgrade. Go to services and horse care package.
Absolutely. Good decision.
Okay. Info. I think the 2 yellow circles are active, and it looks like they could get a little bit higher on speed. 1 dot more. Okay.
Safe travel.
We're done.
Rest that horse sometime.
Now, we're at 41 minutes, so we're coming up on the end of this episode. We got a long ways to ride. But I would, and we need to go to Saint Denis to talk to, what's his name? This guy right here. We got a few things to do in Saint Denis, looks like. I want to come down to here. This is where I get my alligators from. And we'll head that way. So yeah, big win for Romania. In Germany, I think they just... I don't think they outlawed the AfD party, but they officially named it a radical or extremist party. I personally don't believe that. I don't. I'm almost to the point where I don't care what they do. They ain't stopping that. Like, you could just look at history and see. I've talked about this before. When governments... How do I want to phrase this?
Yeah.
Regardless of what kind of government you have, but especially democratically elected governments, you're really only in power for as long as the people allow it. So when you're talking, like I say, especially democratic governments, this is where it's most pronounced. The positive side is most pronounced, is that when you're in power, when you're riding high, the people support you. And you have, I guess, like a mandate to do what it was that you were elected for. You can almost do no wrong. We saw this over here in America during the Obama presidency. Obama did a bunch of shady stuff, but he was exceptionally popular. And so nobody really acted on anything where they could have. But on the other hand, if you get unpopular, it becomes more like... So when you're popular, it's like you're prom king, right? You're the popular person in school. You can, you have a lot of credibility, which means that you could get away with some things and nobody would really second guess it. In fact, they'll actively come up with excuses for you sometimes, right? But on the other hand, whenever you're unpopular, the analogy would now switch to prison guards running a prison.
Yep.
The people don't want you there. You're staying in power through shenanigans. And this is where I don't care what kind of system you run, because we've seen this throughout history. Once you become wildly unpopular with a nation or really a culture's people, they will rebel against you and they will remove you from power. It's how long that takes depends on how authoritarian and draconic you're willing to be or you're capable of being. But the beginning of the end has arrived, and you're on your way out. And I really think that looks to be the case to me in Germany. This globalist approach, led by people like Klaus Schwab of the WEF and George Soros, with all of their money to organize and orchestrate in the background for false means of staying in power and to get policies passed without people knowing what's really going on, or to hoodwink people, or to sow propaganda in order to get away with bloody murder and have the people support because they think you're doing something else. All of those things that have kept these people in power for such a long time, it's all failing. And I think probably because finally, after a very, very, very long time, the fruits of their labor are coming to pass. You know, they tell you all of these places, the globalist playbook seems to be the same thing. No matter what nation you go into, you can find them that they label their opposition as racists, right? That's one of the primary things. Because there's an actual political theory about keeping the population at each other's throats. It actually calls for you to sow division amongst the population so that they're too busy fighting each other to notice what's going on and unite against you. I think that's exactly what we have witnessed for decades on end. And one of the chief ways that they do that, to split people up and factionize and tribalize what should be one people, right? You have a nation state, Germany, America, the UK, France. It doesn't matter where you're talking about. Most of these countries, especially the further west you go, are made up of multiple ethnicities, but they are one civic people. They have a national vision that everybody more or less believes in. And that's what makes them a people. They're not ethnically the same, but they're the same in more important areas like ideology, worldview, values, stuff like that. And so, in order to get what I believe, this is what happened. I believe that they want people that are easily ruled over. They want to make the whole world kind of the same so that you don't have distinct cultures. And I believe it's all very corporation driven. Cheap labor, that's the idea. More than just controllable. They want cheap labor. Oh, this did. Oh yeah, okay, we're gonna make a left here. They want cheap labor, and they want to be able to move people around, and they want to unmoor you from your traditions so that the people in Germany will go along with the same things that they want people doing in Canada, for example. I think that's the goal. And so what they do to do that is an old tactic. This was run by, I always forget their names. I want to say the Acadians, and that's just not correct. I know that's not correct. In fact, I think the Acadians are a fantasy thing. Uh-oh. No! But it's the idea of uprooting a people from the land. That's a 2-star. And then relocating them to another spot, and vice versa. And I always forget what these guys were called. They're in the Bible. They're one of the first civilizations.
Whoa, boy, easy.
Or empires. One of the first empires. And so what they use in order for you to accept the importation of mass amounts of people that are really, the purpose is to dilute your culture and unmoor you from your traditions so that you're more easily controllable, is that they'll call you a racist. And this has been wildly effective for a long time. The idea is to replace the majority with the minority. And then I assume that they would do the same later. Well, once that starts getting rejected because you can see the impacts it's having, that's what I mean. It was a really long way. Oh, who are you? You're Black Velvet. Okay. What are you doing here, Black Velvet? I must have called you. So, I'm real sorry. I'm kind of doing multiple things here. I feel like I really kind of said that in a haphazard way. But the idea is that they're telling you it's for one thing. Oh, we need to be more diverse. Oh, be open-minded. We need workers. Our birth rate is falling. All of which they engineered. That's another tactic. They create the problem, unbeknownst to you, and then provide the solution so that you feel like they're absolutely required. You'd be done without them. I'm talking about the government here. That's the they. And then whenever you dare to question anything, they beat you over the head with the racist idea. And this is especially effective amongst women. Oh my gosh. It's insanely effective, period. I'm shocked. But how effective it is with women is truly kind of almost horrific.
All right, boy.
I think it just is really, really well. I don't think it's not the women's fault. I'm not trying to allude to women being dumb or gullible or stupid in any negative sense. Now, I do think that women tend to be gullible, but I talked about this in another video. I think that's there for a reason. You have to take good with bad. You can see this in RPGs usually. If you're going to be fast and nimble, you're usually not going to be as strong and durable. Those two things they play against each other. It's one or the other. As you go up in one, you go down in the other. It just makes sense, right? You can see it, for example, in NFL football. A running back might decide, you know what, I want to be less injury prone this year because I had a rough season last year. So I'm going to put on 15 pounds of muscle. And that guy comes in and he plays at a weight of 225 pounds whenever he's normally 210. And it completely throws him off because he can't cut like he used to. He can't accelerate like he used to. This is just natural. There are some things that are juxtaposed against each other. And women have high trust factors, and in my opinion, need to, because dudes are just almost predatory on the regular. That's my take. Let's see here. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do. So I do think that they're gullible, but I don't think that they're gullible in the sense of that being stupid. It's the same way I might say that somebody is ignorant. Ignorant does not mean dumb. Ignorant just means you haven't been exposed.
Yeah.
So you could have a 17-year-old kid that's taking college-level courses because he's a genius. He's plenty smart, but he's ignorant because he doesn't have life experience. He can be easily hoodwinked on stuff that he's never run into before. He may be smart, but he can still be got the way that a 35-year-old can't. So they beat you over the head with the racism stick, and they get you to quiet down. Well, now we're to the point that you look at someplace like Germany, and you have all of the rapes that are happening, the oil and water nature of clashing cultures. I would assume maybe some clashing of religion, but my understanding is that religion is not really thriving in Europe. And it's not been for a really long time. So I don't think religion is there very much of a clash point, although that might be increasing now. Because there is kind of a return to traditional religious views in Europe. But certainly cultural differences where Middle Easterners and their views of women and their views of sex and the idea of sex slaves and children even, this is incompatible with Western cultures, right? And they don't care. They will just, they view you as weak, right? Anybody. Get out of the way, Bill.
I thanked you already. Wasn't that loud enough?
Everything was very, well, different. I slept in a bed in a room.
Like a cage.
No. More like a palace in a story.
There we go.
Nice for you.
Bring me something soon if you can, Arthur.
I will. Well, little prince.
And there's plenty of people that are coming in that their view is take this place over. They're very hostile to you. And so they're actually commanded to rape, to pillage, to destroy. They're there to make that Islam. I'm not saying all of them, but you're going to have, it's not just people showing up. You have orchestrated, organized stuff with money in the background. That's what I'm talking about. And people are seeing this, and they're crying foul, and the government's ignoring them, and they're starting to understand. These people are saying one thing, they're doing another, and they're not for us. They're selling us down the river is the phrase that we use here in America. It means selling you into slavery. It means they're not looking out for your best interests. They're out to exploit you. So, I don't know. I don't think that there's anything the German government can do to get rid of AFD. If they outlaw AFD, it'll rise up under a different name. The population has turned against them because it's existential. I'll give you one more example. Over here in America, I grew up in a town that was located between Daytona Beach and Orlando, Florida. So if any of you are overseas, let me explain real quick. Daytona Beach is a popular place for spring break. MTV used to come out there. And so it's a popular known site. I was 30 minutes from there. If I went the other direction, I was 30 minutes from Orlando. Orlando is where Disney World is at. Okay? So I'm 30 minutes from two different prime locations. And a lot of people would move down to my little town. It was known as what's called a transitory community. People would move to where I was at because the houses were real cheap. And they would get a job in Orlando. Orlando's where all the jobs were at. And they would live in Deltona until they could find a place in one of the Orlando suburbs.
Let's go, boy.
Winter Springs, something like that, you know. We're just going to ride around as I finish this episode up. And almost all of them were from New York City.
Yeah.
Now, the reason they were moving down is that New York City got too expensive for them. A box of cereal where I was at would cost you like $1.50. Or maybe it was $2.50. I can't remember. But that same box of cereal in New York was running you $10 to $12. So even if you were like, let's just say like a garbage man, and I'm not making fun of garbage men, but like a lower paying job, even if you were minimum wage in New York, or maybe you're a little bit above minimum wage, but you're blue collar, you're not really, you're maybe lower middle class, right? At best. You're probably poor. Even the poor people to lower middle class people in New York City could come down to Florida and practically live like a king. They had so much more money, and whatever place that they had that they sold, that they made the money off of that, they could come down and find a much nicer house in Florida for less. They didn't even have to spend everything that they made selling their house. So it was just really easy to go ahead and do that. But what they would do is that they did not connect the conditions that the economic conditions they were running to in New York City to the policies of the people that they were electing. They failed to do that. They did not do that. So they didn't change their politics. They were still liberals. New York City is intensely blue, so almost everybody that moved down from there was a liberal. Well, okay, similar with California. California began to buckle under the policies of Democrats after Democrats being in office for decades and decades and decades. It's a Democratic bastion. Not just the representatives, but every institution in California is run under the Democratic vision, and it has so completely failed people that you have what's called Cal Exit or Cal Exodus. And these people from California have been moving out to red states because, once again, it's the same thing. They couldn't afford California, and they did the same thing. They brought their blue policies, their Democrat policies with them, their leftist policies. I want to make sure I'm being understood. Not everybody knows what blue or Democrat means here in America, but most people understand left versus right. But recently, the reason people have been fleeing these states, it's not economic anymore. It's existential. The criminals aren't being arrested. And if you defend yourself against a criminal, you are being arrested. The children are allowed to be counseled into transitioning and conducting irreversible surgeries and taking medications in order to transition their gender without the parents knowing. And if the parents buck against that, they're the ones that get arrested. And that has changed everybody's politics. The people that are fleeing California now, by and large, are also changing the party that they support. And I think the same thing is happening in places like Germany. The problem is no longer just simply economic or an inconvenience of, these people don't speak our language, I don't know what they're saying. Or you're running into clashes of culture where it's more just like frustrating. Now it's life-threatening. And you're seeing that the cops won't come to your aid. And if they do get involved, more often than not, you're the one that gets arrested. You're seeing that you're the ones being put in jail if you speak badly about your representatives. You're the ones being labeled terrorists. Meanwhile, the guy who just got done raping two 12-year-olds, and I'm making this up, but this kind of stuff has happened. I'm just using this as an example. But for sure, this stuff has happened. I'm not making things up out of thin air. It's based on things that are actually happening. He goes to prison and serves 6 months and then gets released. That's how things are going down in Germany, from my understanding. And the people just, there's only so far you can push people before they start pushing back. And I think same thing is happening in England. The Reform Party just, under Nigel Farage. That guy's amazing. He was like the precursor to Donald Trump. I was getting excited about Nigel Farage before Donald Trump ran for office. Before I even knew Trump was going to be on our ticket. Nigel Farage was doing stuff. He was standing up in the EU parliamentary and making really, really good points. I was listening to like 30-minute speeches by Nigel Farage in the EU parliament. And being like, this dude knows what's going on. And he stood up Reform Party and then got a bunch of stuff done. And then I get the feeling the guy would love nothing more than to just simply retire. But he can't. How can you live in peace in a place like that? You're under siege. Let's go ahead and head back. Look at this. I've ridden a long ways. So, yeah, that was already set up. So I think that's what you're starting to look at. France is another hotbed. I don't know how France has dodged that bullet. These people got a lot of money and a lot of clever tricks, but increasingly they're having to take the velvet glove off the iron fist and show you who they really are. And I just think I don't know how long it's going to take, but this is what's called a death spiral. They're not recovering from this. They're in a tailspin. It may take a long time for things to completely change and shift directions, but whoever it is that's been running this kind of idea, this political vision, is flipping frickin', they're done. They are done. They're a cooked goose, man. And no matter what they do, they're not going to be able to stop the rising, the new political viewpoints that are rising, that they want to label as far right. They want to align it with Nazi Germany, which these things are not. About the only common thing you can find is that they're both patriotic. Well, there's nothing inherently wrong with being patriotic. That's a weird position to take, but that's what they're getting forced into. Over here in America, we have a phrase where we're saying that for us, the left is being forced. The Democrat Party, which remember they're the left for us, are being forced by their own rhetoric and the things that they have marched themselves into. How much they've stirred up their base to believe certain things that just simply are not true and are really ridiculous on the face of things. They're being forced to take a stand on that, and what we call that is a 80-20 doom loop. 80% of the population thinks X should happen, but because of democratic policies, they're forced to take a stand on the 20% side of that, and it's making them even more unpopular. The way that this is working, to explain that real quick, let's say, to make the numbers easy, that the Democrats had 100 supporters and the Republicans had 50, okay? But the results of the Democrats have been so poor that 50% or 50 of their voters left and joined the Republicans. Now the Republicans have 100 and the Democrats have 50. And then things got even worse because the changes that the Republicans were making was working out for everybody, and the things that the Democrats were saying were failing, so they lost another 50%. So 25 leave. The Republicans now have 125 and supporters, and the Democrats only have 25. These 25 that have remained, these are the most hardcore, devoutly, zealously left people that are remaining. That's all they have. That is now their base. So increasingly, in order to maintain what they have left, they have to take a stance on the most radical things, or they'll lose them too. And so this just causes them to get more and more and more unpopular. And then people who weren't even aligned with either party, they don't even want to be political, but conditions are forcing it to where they have to make a choice because it's tough to live. Their life is under threat. They're seeing the results and they're joining up with the right. That's why it's a doom loop. From no matter how they work things out, no matter how long they can prolong it, from this point going forward, the right will get stronger and the left will get weaker until things rectify themselves and some sort of balance is found. I mean, you would hope that it would just swing all the way back. Germany should be for Germans. At the risk of sounding like old Adolf, that's just a common sense statement. France for France, UK for UK, right? Look at the UK is a good example. It's England, it's Scotland,
It's what we need.
and it's Ireland. Those are three different groups of people. So I don't think it's going to let me save. So I'm not speaking in ethnic tones. We're going to overwrite this. But I think that's where things are at, and you can just kind of watch it. One of my favorite people to listen to, if you guys are interested in this kind of thing, is Steve Turley. You can find him on YouTube. He's a cultural anthropologist. He's got a PhD. He studied over in England. He's American, but he got his PhD in England, I think in York. I can't remember the name of the university, but I think it was up in York, England. And he looks not just at American politics, but at European politics as well, Canadian, really global. He watches because he is anti-globalist. And so he is watching how things are changing and shifting everywhere from China to Russia to nations in Africa, Europe, North America, South America. He covers the whole thing. So if that's something you have an interest in, that's somebody I would recommend to you. All right, again, I'm Aesop Grimm. Thank you for coming by the channel. I hope you like what you saw. More importantly, I hope all is well in your neck of the woods, and I'll see you in the next episode. Remember, tomorrow, this is your Monday episode. Tomorrow should be the next episode for Oblivion Remastered, and I did find some fix actions for the outdoor frame stutter we were having. And so it's acceptable now, running around 40 to 45 frames on average. It bounces around. All right, guys, I will see you in the next episode where this story continues.